in the studio with us today, and I'm excited about today. Friday Mental Motivation is about getting you ready, getting you pumped up to finish out the week strong so that then you can go and have a great weekend. And this is a really outstanding weekend to be great. This is Juneteenth weekend, and we're excited about celebrating. And so Friday Mental Motivation, folks, is here with you again today, another Friday. And in studio, I have with you Miss Shelly Buller, the theater director from LaGrange High School in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Welcome, Miss Buller.
Thank you. So glad to be here.
Well, awesome. Well, I'm excited that you're here as well. Hey, folks, we have some exciting news that we're going to share with you today. And I just want you to make sure you have a pen and paper. And I'm going to talk a little bit so I can give you a second to go get a pen and paper, because you're going to want this information that we're going to be sharing with you. If you are a person who is about supporting young kids, high school students, then you are going to want this information, folks. I'm excited. You see, I'm wearing my purple today, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to make it purple rain today for LaGrange High School. So Miss Shelly Buller, again, is a theater director at LaGrange High School, and they have something that's outstanding that's about to come. But before we talk about that, Miss Buller, tell us a little bit about yourself. What's your role at LaGrange High School? How long have you been in education, and why do you like teaching students?
Absolutely. I'm one of those people that went into the workforce for about 10 years. My degree is in communications and public relations and marketing. And so I had such a passion of working with my students at my church. I work with the youth choir, and I work with our youth team. And I knew I just had a strong connection with teenagers. And so my college roommate's actually an educator, and she said, you need to go back and do what God truly called you to do, and that is to work with young people. And so I ended up going back and getting my master's in certification, went into the classroom, started out on the English side, had a speech teacher that went into retirement. And so they immediately were like, hey, speech degree, communications degree, let's move her in. And, I just feel like it was something that was ordained for my future. Everything moved the way it should have been. I was placed in a speech setting. I was contacted by the school board, and they were like, hey, you should look at this grant. And it was a theater grant. And they were like, you should look at this and maybe apply for it. And we applied, we got it, and then it just kind of went, it just kept growing and growing and growing from there. And so it's one of those things, I feel like education and this opportunity kind of found me because it was where I was supposed to be. So.
Wow. So in other words, I know when leaders show up, explosive growth happens.
Absolutely. Yeah. Love that.
So, you showed up, and then all of a sudden explosive growth started happening, and LaGrange theater department just kind of like blossomed. That's awesome.
Well, thank you. It's been so much fun, and I see each year the kids grow, they get better, it's neat to watch a freshman in the theater department and watch them as a senior. And I love the growth. The only thing that I don't like about it is then they go to college and I lose them, because you develop such a strong bond. A lot of times an English teacher may have them 1 year, but when you're in like athletics or performing arts and you're teaching them and growing with them and helping them prepare for the real world, it's a little more challenging for us to let them go because they all end up becoming my friends, to be honest.
Sure, I bet. Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you for what you're doing at LaGrange High School. I had the benefit, folks, of being in working with some of her students, and let me tell you what, it's a wonderful thing when you have a teacher that is passionate about her work and her love for students, and you can see it exude in the students in that classroom. I'll never forget that session we had with your students.
that was a moment for sure. Yeah.
So was it your goal years ago to be, in charge of the theater department and now one of the best performing arts programs in the district? Was that your goal?
Honestly, I, in general, am a growth type person. To me, let's not be mundane and just do the same thing over and over. I want to see growth and potential each year. And so whenever I took over, it was basically we started out with speech and a theater class. Then I applied for the grant. So when we got the grant, someone from New York came in and worked with us. And I feel like that planted a vision like, this could be bigger than we thought, And when I have someone, a professional from New York saying, well, you have all of the tools to make this a rock star program, we just kept building on it. And then I think when it really hit me is when I started having parents from other high schools call and say, how can we get our kids involved in this? Or, hey, my student is planning to major in performing arts. I need them under you, but we live, 20 minutes away from the school. How can we make this work? And so that's when I started realizing, okay, this could be bigger than I thought. So that was another opportunity. Let's grow, let's move and make this bigger. And so we partnered with Calcasieu Parish School Board. A lot of the parents called in and were like, we would love to see this happen. And so our superintendent, Carl Brookhouse, was super supportive. He made sure that it worked out for the students in Calcasieu Parish. We now have a representation of 5 different high schools that are working with us. So yeah,
wow,
it's been an awesome opportunity. And, from an educator's perspective, it's been nice because the students that are coming into the school are fighting for it. They're proud to have this opportunity. Mm-hmm. Most of them want to do this for a living. So I'm finding what's happening is when you're bringing in students that passionate about it, our students are like, oh, I want that too, And so that passion starts rubbing off. And it's kind of like in leadership, when you have someone that's passionate about something,
yes,
kids become leaders amongst their peers. And it's making the other students around them rise up to, perform on the same level.
Right. It becomes contagious. And talk about passion. You guys have a new principal there, and she's very passionate about students and student growth and development and all that type of stuff. So that passion is going to exude throughout the whole school. So
absolutely, yes. And the good thing for us is our principal is highly passionate about performing arts. Yes, so it is so nice to have an advocate on our side for that.
Yes. Hello, Ms. Guillory. I know you must be watching, but all right. So, so your latest production is Frozen Junior.
Right.
So tell us about the storyline for Frozen Junior.
Okay, so it is a story about 2 princesses, Anna and Elsa. But the good thing is even though, it's a storyline of princesses and sisterhood, it has such a good mix of humor, fun, danger. So they go through a lot. They have some challenges. One of the sisters has a magic power that ends up separating them. And so basically they fight and they find that true love fixes everything. So their love for each other, their love of sisterhood, it really fixes the situation or corrects the situation. So it's just a fun story. Pretty much anyone that knows Disney knows Frozen. They know the songs from it. They can belt it out, let it go, And so that's the good thing is, everybody loves the characters. They love the storyline. So I really feel like this will be a fan favorite for the city.
Well, that is awesome. So I know we have it up on the screen, but tell our audience, we're going to talk about the lead performances, but let's talk about when is it going to be and how people in Lake Charles or from Lafayette, Baton Rouge, Houston, how can they come and see that performance?
Okay, so it is 1 week from today, June 25th and 26th. Friday the 25th, we have 3 performances, 10 a.m., 2 p.m., and 6 p.m. And then Saturday, we have 2 performances at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. If they're interested in getting tickets today, we're actually rehearsing at Eastwood. We've been selling tickets out of this location. Just a little backstory for you. Our school was affected highly with the hurricane. We have an amazing auditorium on campus. However, it was destroyed during Hurricane Laura. So we have had to kind of do things differently, shifted a little bit. And so we've been rehearsing and selling tickets this week at Eastwood Pentecostal Church Gym, which is at 2501 Opelousas Street. And then next week, we're going to the actual venue where we will be performing. So ticket sales will be out of there. So next week from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day, you can purchase tickets. You can also purchase them at the door. So the only thing is at the door, you are taking a chance of, us selling out, but you can still get them at the door. Doors open 1 hour before the show. Also, if you are out of town and you want to come in for this performance, you can contact me on Facebook, Shelly Buller, or you can contact me at 337-244-9777 and let me know, hey, I'm driving in. Can you hold me some tickets? And I'll be sure and take care of you. So just
give me that number one more time.
337-244-9777. And I can be sure and put that someone's coming in from Houston, set it aside. You can just pay at the door.
Awesome. And look, folks, let me tell you what, tickets have sold out before for LeGrand performances. So
we were sold out when we were originally supposed to do this. We were sold out, and of course things have happened, but it's a popular show, and Frozen is popular. So
yes. So you don't want to miss out. You want to make sure you are in the audience. You know how you have those times where you say, I was in the seats, I was in the room.
Where you in the room? Yes.
Absolutely.
That's a famous Hamilton quote.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about or a lot about the lead performers for Frozen Junior.
Okay, they are definitely a mix of students from throughout the district. We have some students from Sam Houston, Iowa High School, Washington Marion High School, LaGrange High School, and Barb High School. So the majority of the lead performers are upperclassmen, and I have one performer that is playing Prince Hans. He actually has been accepted to the Academy of Music and Dramatic Arts in New York and Los Angeles. I also have Leslie Israel. The one that's accepted to New York and Los Angeles is Jalen Williams. I have Leslie Israel that has been accepted to Northwestern State University with a full theater scholarship. So I just have some really good students. One of my district advanced theater students, she was accepted to the University of Southern California. She is majoring in mass communications. So it's pretty cool how a lot of the theater students that are leads are actually going into a field, if not performing arts, mass communications, broadcasting. I have one of my seniors that is planning to be a theater teacher. And so it's pretty cool that these leads, they're about to do big and great things. And so you definitely want to catch them in their performance, because I have audience members, they're like, where do you get these performers? And I'm like, our high schools. They really, you get into a point where you're watching the show and you forget that these are high school students, because we want to prepare them for, hey, if you got hired by Disney or you got hired by Carnival and you're performing on stage, can you do it? Can you sell it? And so we try to make this as close to a Broadway style performance as we can bring to Lake Charles.
Wow, that is awesome. So folks, you have heard from Miss Shelly Buller say that she has performers who are already accepted to some major universities theater departments. So you need to be in the seat now so that you can say before they get to the big screen in Hollywood that you saw them perform.
Yes.
You want to be there. All you Gator alumni, I need you to be in the room.
That's right.
All right. We can always say, we graduated from here, there, yonder. But you know what? How you show that you are a true alumni is that you're in the room. You go and support LaGrange High School in this production. So again, the show dates are going to be June 25th. That's next Friday. So you have a whole week to get yourself ready for it. Go get your new outfit and come ready. Right. There are going to be 3 performances on Friday, 10 a.m., 2 p.m., and 6 p.m. So you have no reason why you can't come. Then next Saturday, they're going to have 2 performances, 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Again, you have 5 opportunities to come and see Frozen Junior. If you're not an early bird, then come to the late show. If you don't want to be out too late, then come on in early and get your tea and sit down and watch Frozen Junior. All right. So, Ms. Bullard, I know it's amazing that this production is coming together. If I remember correctly, you started this well before hurricanes and COVID and all of these other things, ice storms and all this type of stuff. So you had to go across a couple of school years. Right. To make this happen. So how did you and your team, how are you guys able to bring this all back together and come to a reality today?
Well, we were right there. We were a week away from our production. So we had all of the lighting and sound. We had everything set up. Everything was in the auditorium. We were in the final days. And then we got the call from the state that basically said, all schools are shut down. And so we kind of, I think at that point, everybody didn't really have their brain wrapped around what was truly happening.
Right.
And so, I even have a video out where it kind of hit me. I was just like, we'll do this in the summer. We're gonna, and who would have thought even in the summer, we would not have been back to normal. I don't think anybody foresaw that coming. There was even a time I thought we would maybe even be able to pull it off 2 or 3 weeks later, in May. It just didn't happen. And so we were going back to school in August. And the first day the kids were supposed to be back, we were basically having to evacuate for Hurricane Laura. And so I still at that point had not seen my kids since March, because of, having to shut down for COVID. And then we come back and then everything's still fine at this point. But then when we lost the auditorium, it just kind of, it brought just this almost like we wouldn't be able to recover from it. We were at the point that the kids were losing hope. I was losing hope. I was just like, okay, this is it's crazy, Yeah. And so then, we had another hurricane happen. And so we finally get back to school. At this point, they're not doing any repairs on the auditorium because of safety purposes. So they're actually just starting them now during the summer. And so, we've just basically seen the auditorium sit there. We were able to salvage what we could, but we lost so much. So many sets, so many costumes. It was just, there was no recovering them. And so we pretty much lost hope. And then we started getting into the spring, and then we started reaching out into the community and realized that there was not a working auditorium in this community, really. So I was just, I don't know what we're going to do. And so we work with a company called Porsche Advanced Systems. They're one of our partners in education. And I contacted them and they said, we have put equipment and lighting and projection screens, things that we're used to in our auditorium at Trinity Baptist North venue. So I went out on a limb, contacted them. They have been so gracious to allow us to use their venue for our show. So that way we at least have, a very close look to what we have at LaGrange's auditorium. Yeah. So we're definitely making the most of it. We're blessed to have this opportunity because, it's going to take a while for our city to get back and running. But I'm hoping next show that we do will be at the LaGrange Auditorium. It will be bigger and better than ever. So.
Well, that is awesome, folks. Thank you for tuning in to Friday Mental Motivation. And I'll tell you what, if you're not excited, if you're not motivated now, folks, I don't know what's going on, but I'll tell you what, I want you to go and get a ticket to come see Frozen Jr. The number is in the comments. So all you have to do is copy and paste and then call. Copy, paste, call. That's it. Copy, paste, call 337-244-9777. It's an easy number, folks. Get your ticket to come see Frozen Jr. These high school students from all across Calcasieu Parish have come together, and they are going to put on an outstanding performance for you. So I need you to help them sell out. Thank you to Ms. Shelley Buller. Thank you to Ms. Guillory. Thank you to the students and their parents for all coming together and putting this together. But I also want to thank, I see that Ms. Buller, we have a lot of sponsors on your page there. Thank you to all the sponsors who are helping to make sure that this event comes to reality. So this is just awesome.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate the opportunity. I am going to put a plug in. I know somebody is a Washington Marion alumni, correct?
You know,
that's our student that is going to New York and Los Angeles to the Academy of Music and Dramatic Arts. He is a Washington Marion graduate. So,
okay.
Yes.
Awesome. Look at
representing y'all very well.
Awesome. That is awesome. So the Charging Indians, I need you too to make sure you're coming out and support LaGrange High School in this theater performance. So if you know me, if you've heard of me, if you've seen me, if you've talked to me, I need you to get a ticket to come to this to see Frozen Jr. And finally, we want to make sure that we give a shout out and a thank you to Ms. Shelley Buller for being the catalyst to make all of this happen. See, folks, everything rises and falls on leadership. And without good leaders, things like this don't happen for your students, right? For our students, for our community. So we want to make sure that we give some love and thank you to Ms. Buller for putting this together, for coming on here today to help promote this. And I know you guys are getting ready to go and get into practice this morning. So have fun with that. Thank you for coming on Friday Mental Motivation. Go get your ticket, folks. And I hope to see you because I will be there. I'm coming from Houston. I will be there next Saturday. So I'll be doing autographs too. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you, Ms. Buller. I hope that you guys go out and have a great rest of your Friday and then have a super fantastic weekend. Come back next week and let's go see Frozen Jr.